Now, here we are. What a great Wednesday evening here in Portland. All things considered, not the greatest weather here with all the smoke from the forest fires. Prayers up for all the forest firefighters and all the people who have been going through tough times here in Oregon. I know there's friends of mine that have lost homes and been evacuated. A tenth of our state has been evacuated from their homes. Tough times, just adding on to 2020. So that's why it's good you're here, because you're going to get a little positivity tonight. So I'm B Minor.
I am the X Factor, and I want to give my deepest condolences as well to everybody who's dealing with the forest fires. Brant sent me a couple pictures of what the sky looked like in Portland, and I was just taken back. I mean, that is insane, just smoky, and I can't even imagine that. So definitely my prayers are up for everybody. Stay strong. I know you've been very, very strong going through all this, and these tough times will pass. 2020 as a whole has been tough in various different aspects. People talk about having different streams of revenue. I think right now, 2020, we're getting different streams of like just the worst of chaos, different streams of chaos. Well put. So fight through it, and greater times are to come.
Greater times are to come, and they're coming soon. So thank you guys for being here. We're with my college mentor from the University of Portland, Kasten Spethmann, who is a University of Portland graduate. So we have that in common. She's been a professional windsurfer in her career. I have never been a professional windsurfer, so we don't have that in common. But the entrepreneurial aspect, so she's been a venture capital world, done startups on her own, and now she's teaching and coaching entrepreneurs. So Kasten, thanks for being here tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's actually, I got to tell you, it's kind of cool to do something like this to get your mind off of everything that's going on, right? Because we come together here and we share some ideas and some stories and have some laughs. And it was a really, I mean, all day I was really excited. So thank you.
That's awesome. We're excited. I know I can speak for myself. I'm really excited because I've known you now, we don't have to say how long ago I graduated from college, but coming up on 20 years. So Pont, the X Factor is still in college, and it's been a while since I've been in college, but it doesn't seem like that long ago, does it, Kasten? A ton.
No. I mean, I've been out a lot longer than you, honey. So yeah.
The 20-year mark is approximately my age, approximately.
It's approximately, so I've been almost out of school for as long as you've been alive. Not quite yet, but soon that will be the case.
X Factor, how old are you?
I am a whopping 21 years old. Just old enough to have fun.
I've been out of college longer than you have been alive.
Oh, wow. Well, you have a lot more experience to share than I do.
It's all good.
Sometimes experience comes from failure. Sometimes it comes from other people's failure. So tonight, I think that's a great lesson. We're going to get a little bit of wisdom from some failures that Kasten's had, and she's going to share some of the successes she's had. But Kasten, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your journey and kind of how you got to where you are now, getting to coach entrepreneurs?
Sure. So I took a very non-traditional route after college. I think it was just a few weeks after college, I left and I got some sponsors to windsurf, and I started traveling. And I did that for 4 years, and it was everything from doing photo shoots and teaching clinics to competitions to, I mean, it's just a different world. It's not like being a professional basketball player. There's, it's just that kind of money isn't in it, but it's super fun. And so I tell people, I got 4 years of academic education, and then I got 4 years of life education, because when you travel to the extent that I did and to the places that I did, you learn in a much different way. And I came home a different person and could never go back to who I was before. Like once you've seen some of the things that I've seen and experienced them, it changes you. And I'm so grateful that it did. So it was just a fantastic time in my life. And let's see, then I came home, and just to backtrack a little bit. So my degree is in psychology and my minor is in recording arts. And my undergrad thesis was the psychological and physiological effects of sound. And so what I wanted to do with that is I was working at Nike during college, and I wanted to use sound, music, etc., tones to increase athletic performance. So that was, the plan. But I wanted to travel so much after college, and it was, you have a window. And so I left. And when I came back, I wasn't quite sure how to kind of get back into what it was going to be that I did next. And so I fell into the world of venture capital. And I mean, literally fell into it, like was at a dinner party and heard a couple people talking about needing a lot of money to buy a crude oil refinery in Coffeyville, Kansas. And I chimed in. I was all of 29 years old, and chimed in and said, oh, I might have somebody that could help you. And they're like, whatever, little girl. You just go play with your surfboard. Let the men do their job. And I was like, no, I'm serious. I might know someone. And so that launched my career in the venture world. It was crazy. It was fun. I happened to know some high net worth individuals, so I came at it from a completely different aspect than the people that leave college that get a finance degree. I've never taken a finance class in my life. And however, I was very good at raising money. And I attribute some of that to my psychology degree because I knew I could understand people, and I read people. And I had a different love for business, especially the entrepreneurial spirit, from all the traveling that I did, because entrepreneurs, whether in this country or any other country, are the ones that are changing things. They create change. They make things better. And so that part of it I loved. I got to learn about so many businesses and industries, and I just learned and learned for 11 years. That's what I did. Then I I raised a fund with somebody else. I was living in Arizona. Oh, wait, let me backtrack. I got to share some of the bad stories too. In 2004, I was in a car accident here in Portland, and it broke my neck and tore my jaw off. And I didn't even know that that could happen. Apparently it only happens to boxers because they're constantly getting hit on the side. So my jaw was torn off from hitting the side of my car, and they had to reattach it, which meant I then ate through a straw for an entire year. So when people complain to me about, oh, I'm stuck inside, it's COVID, I'm just like, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of patience for your whining, right? So anyway, 2 years, many surgeries, physical therapy daily, and I lost everything. But I still had my life. And so one of my mottos, and one of the things I tell people is, you can recover from literally anything except for death. Literally, you can lose absolutely everything and recover except from it, unless you're dead. And so when it was time for me to start over, I decided to move somewhere a little bit warmer. I got a gig in Vegas raising money for the company. Was there for 11 months, hated it. There's nothing about Vegas that's attractive to me. I'm a beach sunset girl, not a flashy lights and gambling person. So I got out of there as quick as I could. I went to Arizona, had lots of friends there, great entrepreneurial community there, had so much fun, and then met another person kind of like me, and we decided to raise a fund. So we started this in 2008, which was like the crash, right?
That's a tough time. Wow.
Oh my gosh. It was like sticking a dull pencil through your eye over and over and over. It took us 2 years to raise this fund. It was brutal. I mean, we had plans to raise a big fund. We didn't come anywhere near. And then because of 2008, the Frank Dodd bill happened. So for legal reasons, it was no longer easy to raise money or fun. So I thought, you know what, I want out. I never intended to do this. I want out of here. And so took a little time off and then started a consumer product goods company with another partner. And it was very fun. We invented a flat refillable lipstick applicator, and we had plastic ones and the metal ones like could be engraved with your name. It was really cool. It was a brand new product to bring to market, and it's very hard to break in when you are something that no one's done before, because you have to change the way that they've always done stuff and the way that they know to do it, and it takes a long time. So really worked on that for about 6 years, and never took off. I hung on as long as I could. I mean, I just put everything I had into it, literally like hours, money, energy, everything. And then I just realized I got to shut it down. And that was horribly depressing. I felt like I had let my investors down, and I'm a person of my word. So that part was really hard, because I had told them, you know, I'm going to do everything in my power to make you a ton of money on your investment. And I did do everything in my power, but it didn't work. And so I still felt like I didn't keep my word. And what happens when a business fails is that you have a hard time trusting your own decision making. Does that make sense? I didn't trust myself anymore. I didn't trust that I knew to make the right decisions on things. And it's hard to live life if you're not confident about decisions you're making. And it just takes time. There were some different things that I did to heal myself through that. And finally came out the other side. Knew I would, just didn't know how long it was going to take. But lots of days and nights in bed, bawling my eyes out, and just feeling like a failure. Now I can say, oh, it failed, and I literally have no problem with it anymore. So just so everybody knows that might be listening, you do survive failures. You do. The first one is the hardest. I hope I don't have another one, but I probably will. And but you do survive it. You just have to get through it. There is no shortcut. You just have to go through it. And then what I would kind of rely on was reminding myself that I ate through a straw for a fucking year. So if I can do that, pretty sure I can make it. Sorry, I swear.
We love it. We love it.
Okay, good.
You know what that is? That's passion. We love passion.
Yeah. So cool. Thank you. All right. So once I kind of got through that and got my confidence back, and what I did during that time was I really took some time to think about what is it that I love? What wakes me up during the, every day with a smile on my face and energy to go? And what do I find myself reading in my free time? What do I find that I pay attention to when it's on TV or on the internet? I mean, that's when you just let your mind go, wherever it goes to, that's really where your real interest and passion lies. And I always came back to entrepreneurs, always. Specifically startups, because it takes guts to start a company. And I truly, truly believe that entrepreneurs provide hope. I mean, if I post almost daily in LinkedIn, sorry about the squeaking, that's the dog in the room. So I post almost daily in LinkedIn stories of companies that have pivoted or started because of the change caused by the pandemic. And it is so inspiring. I know that we're all going to be okay because of what these, opportunists are doing, and these inventors and quick thinkers and risk takers. So I love entrepreneurs and I wanted to help them. There aren't a lot of resources out there for startups. You think that there are, but not really to get in there in the nitty-gritty and help them. And it's very hard for them to raise money specifically. part of the reason is that they might have a background in, maybe they're a basketball coach, maybe they're a dentist or a bus driver or whatever their background is, and they come up with a widget or an idea or an app or whatever it is to make something better. And they have no background in business at all. And now they have to go raise money. Who's going to teach them to do that?
Kasten.
How are they going to learn to do that? I mean, they're going to make so many mistakes, lose so much money, lose so much time. And my fear is that then they'll quit. And I've never wanted a good idea to be stuck in somebody's garage or in their basement simply because they didn't know how to raise money, or when they needed an attorney, or I don't know, how to find a manufacturer. And so I decided that's it. That's the niche I'm going to go after. And so I created a membership site that has resources, and it's a place where once a week I go live and entrepreneurs can just ask me questions. So let's say if you wanted to call your attorney and ask a question that took 5 minutes, you'd be charged for an hour, right? So I didn't want people to have to hire me, for $5,000 and then only need to ask me a question every month. That wasn't the point. So created this membership site, and also created a class that people can take on their own and learn everything that they need to know to raise money. I mean, from start to finish, by the time you're done, you can go raise money. And that was the whole goal. So everything else around that is, I mean, that's what I do. I will share this with you. I got to speak at Pacific University.
Go Boxers, let's go.
Go Boxers.
Yeah.
I learned what a boxer was because of Brant. He taught me. I had no idea what it was, and then he showed me what that thing was. I was like, wow, this is majestic is the word that I came up for.
Yeah.
This is just legendary.
Super cool.
Super
So
cool.
right before the pandemic, I was able to go talk to the team. And what we talked about was, because I'm an athlete and I had lots of friends that were retired pro athletes, and I saw several of them go on to be entrepreneurs. I really feel like athletes make great entrepreneurs because they already have the work ethic, the discipline, the ability to get back up again when they've been cut from a team or lost a championship or lost a game, and you've got to get up the next Sunday and play it again, right? The teamwork, the ability to be coached. I mean, there's so many things that athletes already inherently have that is so hard to teach an entrepreneur. So I call it athlete to entrepreneur, and it's one of the niches I'm really going after because, I think it's fantastic and it's my wheelhouse. So that's my story pretty much. I'm back here in Portland, Oregon, working on, I will share this little tidbit with you and then I'll let you answer questions or ask me some questions because I've just been rambling. My goal for the last several years is to be location independent, meaning I can work from anywhere. And I would like to spend part of the year back in Mexico where I used to live.
Awesome.
I think we can all make the lifestyle that we want, especially now that everybody's so used to doing things online. So I don't think it is a stretch that I get up and be able to surf every morning before I start my Zoom calls.
I think what you're doing is so important, so incredibly important. And this is why. I mean, I see so many people, including myself, but a lot of people in my circle, around this age group in the college age of 18 to 22 years old. And, even further, if you're in grad school, is like, okay, my dream is to be an entrepreneur. I want to start and own and operate a very successful business and make as much money as possible and change as many lives as possible. But how? You know what I mean? Like we all have that dream, but I mean, there's so many, there's so many questions. And I mean, school is teaching us, but I mean, it's very, very hard to really get that one-on-one mentoring that you're able to provide, especially with the experience that you've had throughout your life. So that's extremely, extremely, extremely admirable because that's necessary.
Cool. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that because, a little bit, I'm just kind of guessing what people need. Not really, because I was in the industry, so I know, but it's really cool to hear that that is, would be something that's really, really helpful. So I appreciate that feedback.
Pot's an entrepreneur. I know we got Coach Mitchell. He's also an entrepreneur, big time entrepreneur. So if you got a question, Coach, or Emily, before, I know you think you got to head out, but if you have a question, go ahead and jump right in here and raise a hand. I can unmute you and you can ask, or you can type in the chat. But I was going to ask until we get somebody else. Give us how you're able to bounce back. I mean, you talked a little bit about that mentality, but where did you learn that? Is there books? Is there podcasts? What type of things might you recommend for somebody that's going through those tough times?
So a couple things. Some of it comes from my heritage and my family. My mom was born and raised during World War II in communist East Germany. And she escaped when she was 17 years old and then immigrated to the US when she was 19 years old. And so I think about her life a lot. I mean, that was one of the things that got me through stuff, was thinking about what she went through. And she still has the most amazing attitude. She's 81. She just turned 81 last week. And we were out playing tennis for her birthday. I mean, right? So some of it was being raised with that kind of mentality and those stories that made me feel like, oh, I have it good, like I can do this, right? So that was the recovering from the failed business. There was one book that really helped pull me out, and it was such a compliment. I had reached out online and said to some friends, like, hey, what books are you reading? I really need a new book. And one of my friends said, read this book, it reminds me of you. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. What's it about? And she's like, you're a closer, or you're a cleaner. And I was like, what does that mean? And she said, I'm not going to tell you, read the book. So I read the book, and it is by a gentleman by the name of Tim Grover. Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's trainer. He was also Kobe Bryant's trainer, and then Dwayne Wade's trainer. And the book is, even I've listened to it several times, and sometimes I just put it on when I need a little boost, because it reminds me of really how strong I am inside. And I've always taken risks. At 22 years old, I bought a motorhome and drove around Mexico by myself for 2 years to windsurf. I mean, I've always known I have that in me. It's just I had to remember. And so that book helped me enormously.
Give us the name of the title of the book.
Relentless.
Relentless.
Yeah. Yeah, that book was huge. Let's see. I reached out to some other friends, entrepreneurial friends that had business failures, and talked to them. That helped a lot too. I did get some feedback from some friends that really helped too. Like one person said, you think you're a failure? He said, I have a shoebox in my closet full of little pieces of paper with business ideas on them. And you know what? They're all still in the closet in that shoebox. What you did was took an idea, invented something, had it manufactured, brought it to market. How can you think that that's a failure? And so that gave me some really good perspective. And then another friend said to me, you know, he worked for a big corporation. He said, well, in the break room around the watering hole, right? So like the whatever, they're all hanging out. Everybody's complaining about how much they don't like their job and how much they wish they worked for themselves, and they never do anything about it. They just come in every day and they complain. And you, my friend, went out and did it. So in my mind, you're not a failure. And so those things really helped me a lot. And then the last thing I'll tell you is I had to do something that was just for me. So I started refurbishing furniture. Never done it before. There was something about working with my hands, being all by myself. I would lose track of time. And I took these very ugly pieces of furniture and made them so beautiful that I don't know, was therapeutic for me. So I will share this with you too. I listened to a lot of podcasts during that time. The Chase Jarvis live show and the Rich Roll podcast. And those were huge. I'd listen to that while I was working on furniture. Really helpful.
Rich Roll, and what was the other podcast that you recommended?
Chase Jarvis, Jarvis.
Taking notes, write that down. Coach Mitchell, I'm gonna get you unmuted here. Give you a chance to ask a question here if you'd like. Should be unmuted. There you go.
Yeah, I'm good. The question I have is, where can I go to find out how to raise money? You mentioned that.
Yeah, if you go to my website, there's a link on the front page, I think. It's just yourstartuplife.com.
Okay.
There's a link to the class. The classes, you can just click on classes and you'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. So if you're writing this down, be ready to write it down. She's going to give you the website right here. Here's your plug. Here it is.
Yourstartuplife.com.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Yourstartuplife.com.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. I like it. I like it. I think we kind of touched on your question there, Emily, about what did you do to enable your confidence to return after your first failure in business? So we kind of talked a little bit about that. If you have anything else, we can expand on it. Pont, you had a quote for us today?
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a quote for us today, and let me go ahead and pull it up because I have it saved. This is by Drake, by the way. So great. I love Drake. I'm a big time Drake guy. And Drake said this, and I think it's very true. He said, sometimes it's the journey that teaches you a lot about your destination. And the reason that stuck out to me so much is I think about how many times you plan on one thing and life takes you another way. And you think that, hey, this is my plan because I planned it and because I thought about it and because this is just the only sight that I have that it's going to happen. That's not true. Life throws you a lot of curveballs. There's a lot of curveball. I just got a curveball thrown at me last week, right? And it makes you think about it, right? And it makes you sit there and like, hey, this isn't what I thought. This isn't what I expected. What am I going to do now? Right. Those curveballs teach you so much about the journey and the end result of it, but also who you are, because you want to see, and other people want to see, sometimes negatively, they want to see how you react to the curveballs. Other people want to see you fail. I'm sorry, but in a lot of cases, it's very, very true. So other people want to, use you as the punchline of, oh, hey, look, Pont had a problem and it's, oh, look, he messed up and now he's screwed. No, don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Don't be that person ever. So learn through curveballs, and it's going to teach you a lot about the journey and a lot about yourself as well.
That's great. I love that quote. That is a good one. The one I have it's a Winston Churchill quote. And then his quote was, success consists of going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So success is going from failure. You get one, you get knocked down, you get back up. You get knocked down, you get back up. But that doesn't mean it's going to stop you from showing up with enthusiasm. So I just think that's perseverance, overcoming, and showing up with enthusiasm, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. I think that goes really well tonight with the topic we've been talking about.
Can I share a couple of quotes?
That's what this part of the show. I knew you had a few. I didn't even have to prep. I knew you had a few ready to go.
All quotes. I collect them.
Let's go.
Quotes everywhere.
I love that. That's inspirational. Got more all the time.
So, okay, first I'm going to tell you my quote. Brant, you saw this on LinkedIn not that long ago. Dear optimist, pessimist, and realist, while you all were arguing over what was in the glass, I drank it. Sincerely, the opportunist. That is what entrepreneurs are. They see opportunities. That's it. And so when you find that the rest of the world is arguing over whether or not to wear a face mask or not, or whether or not COVID is real or not, or whether climate change is real or not, go do something. Stop being a part of that conversation and go do something about it. It's an opportunity. Everything's an opportunity. So that's my quote, my favorite. That's from
Good.
me.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And then my favorite from someone else is something I probably should start sharing with people that become part of, like, members or want some mentorship from me, because it explains me a little bit. It is from Truman, President Truman. And the quote is, "I don't give them hell, I give them the truth, and they just think it's hell." And I'll tell you a little story. So I've loved that quote my whole life. And you'll know when people are pissed off when you tell them the truth that you're getting to them, right? So I worked on a deal with Mark Cuban. And so he and I, would email, text, whatever. And when the Kobe Bryant scandal with the affair and all that happened, Mark Cuban came out and said, it's going to be good for basketball. It sucks for the families. It sucks for the communities involved, but it's going to be good for basketball. And everyone jumped his shit and was like, you're okay with rape and you're da da da. And he's like, no, it's not what I said. I said it's good for basketball. And he was being interviewed by Diane Sawyer on like Good Morning America or something. And she said, well, didn't you say this? And he said, okay. Oh, she asked him, are you saying that because the Lakers are playing the Mavs in the season opener? And he said, well, Diane, are you a huge basketball fan? Do you watch every game? She said, no, I like basketball, but are you going to watch the game? She said, yeah, probably. And he goes, proved my point. And he said, people are going to watch. That's all I'm saying. It's good for basketball. And then she said, well, don't you think that people are tired of athletes misbehaving and doing bad things? And he said, they say they are, but their buying habits do not follow suit. So Mike, the highest earning boxing match ever was the one that Mike Tyson fought in when he got out of jail. People watch. They watch the train wrecks. They pay for the jerseys. They say they're sick of it, but they still spend their dollars. And so I sent him that quote and he put it up on his wall, because I said, Mark, this is you. Like, you don't give them hell, you give them the truth, and it feels like hell to them, right? So
the ability to accept criticism and not take it personal. Huge.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Mark Cuban fan too, so that was so cool to hear you just say that. That's not a bad guy to know.
No. Not a bad guy. What's that?
He seems like an awesome guy. I mean, obviously I don't know. I just watched Shark Tank and his he's got all types of obviously videos on YouTube and stuff, Vanity Fair and all that cool stuff. But yeah, he's
exactly like that. There's nothing hidden about him. He's exactly what you see on Shark Tank or any of those videos. He did a TikTok video dancing with his kids, and I was like, that's fucking awesome. What you see is what you get. And that, I don't really have, you can't have more respect for somebody than what you see, at least for me. Like, I need to be able to, what I see is what I get. And that's what people get with me. So yes, he's very cool.
That's one thing I've always respected about you, Kasten. You speak the truth. You tell people how it is. You tell them when they're doing good, but you also tell them when they need to be doing something different. And that's part of being a good coach, is being able to give criticism and say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. I told you how to do this and this. You're not doing it. And then being able to correct those behaviors and still get the kids to know, or in your case, the entrepreneurs, to know that you care about them, right? The old saying, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Mm-hmm. Right?
Well, and the reason I said that I should probably preface my mentoring sessions with that is that I will share with people when they are making excuses. And you can make excuses or you can make money, but you cannot make both. So I tend to call people out when I'm like, look, you need to quit. You don't have what it takes. This is not the right path for you. It's not always that harsh. I mean, I try to be, very kind about it, but I absolutely will not blow sunshine up someone's ass and watch them waste their time and their money and other people's money when they're fucking it up and not taking it serious. And, you know, they're never going to make it. So yeah, I'm sometimes
I love that.
brutally honest.
And I mean, they're definitely not going to make it through making excuses or especially lying to themselves or having somebody else lie to them. So, I mean, that's admirable. That's respectable. You want them to succeed, so you're telling them. You don't hate them. You're not telling them because you hate them. If you hate them, you probably say, oh, good. No, yeah, you're doing great. That's not going to help anybody.
And yeah, if they want that, they need to go find a cheerleader because I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Their own mascot.
Sometimes people want to be told those things, and it's not going to help them. I want a friend that challenges me. I want a friend that's not afraid to say, hey, you know, are you doing what you should be doing? Not just blindly patting me on the back no matter what I'm doing. I want somebody that's going to pat me on the back when I'm doing good, but then also call me when I'm not.
Yeah. Well, that's what separates the people that really want to make it or the ones that don't. Because if the other thing I tell them is like, why are you paying me? Why are you here? Like, if you're not going to listen to anything I suggest or do, then quit wasting my time and your money.
I'll work with them if they're wasting my time, but it's going to cost a lot more than a kid that listens to me.
Right. Yeah.
Kids that are coachable and want to listen, I'll work with them for less. But if a kid's a knucklehead, a pain, doesn't want to be coached, I'll still probably work with them, but it's going to cost a lot more.
And you won't spend as much time with that student, right? You just won't. And yeah, I totally agree. It's you know pretty quickly who's going to make it or who. I mean, when I spoke to your team, Grant, I knew within the first probably 3 or 4 minutes of speaking who was serious, who was listening, and who gave a shit and who didn't. And the ones that were asking the questions, it was just, I was like, hey, I can tell you right now who shows up to every practice, who works their ass off, who listens, who's always, you know, shooting extra baskets. You can tell those people pretty quickly. And that's who you want to work with.
Nick Drynan, he's shooting extra buckets.
Dude, I love that kid.
Stand out player. I mean, freshman of the year.
And I just happen to have gone to high school with his uncle. I mean, and his mom. So
small world.
Yeah, super small world. But yeah, he's an amazing guy. Yeah.
Great guy. I still kind of want to call him a kid, but if I had any money, I'd probably let him invest it for me. He's that sharp a kid, but yeah, great kid. Well, we really appreciate your time, Kasten. Does anybody, we have a question. Rebecca, if you got anything, I'll read the quote in the chat. I love the Kasten vibes with about 6 exclamation points. So for the feedback there, Rebecca.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Rebecca is awesome. She coaches an all-boys high school team from the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh, God bless you.
So she's dealing with high school boys, trying to discipline and teach them how to play basketball. I have a lot of respect for that lady.
That's awesome. I'm going to share one more story that I just thought of with you guys. It's actually probably going to be my newsletter for tomorrow. Ben Page has a question for me. So Ben, I'm just going to tell you guys this story, and then you can ask your question. So the story is this. So one of my friends, mentors in Arizona was a gentleman by the name of Alan Lubbock, and Alan was the co-founder of Sky Mall, the magazine that was in the airplanes for years. And when shit fell apart and I could not find my mojo. And we had lunch, and he said to me, did you ever see the movie Top Gun? And I was like, yep, a couple 100 times probably. And he's like, wasn't Tom Cruise great in that? And I said, yeah. He goes, did you see the movie Cocktail? Mm-hmm. He goes, wasn't that kind of a dumb, bad movie? Kind of cheesy? And I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, but it was still Tom Cruise. The thing is the movie doesn't make Tom Cruise. He's an actor, and each movie is a different thing. So he's still an actor, right? But one movie doesn't define you. You got to do more and more movies. And so he said, you're an entrepreneur and one business is one movie. So that movie's over. It got shitty ratings, whatever, right? The critics hated it. Next movie. Because as an actor, you'd never. So he said, just be Tom Cruise. I was like, oh, okay. That analogy helped me enormously.
Next movie.
Because it's true. I mean, look at how many actors out there have made crappy movies and still went on and made, you know, another one that was great. So
I think that's a great way to look at it. Or great, is that in a great way to analogy, a great way to see that pictures. Doesn't matter. We say doesn't matter, get better. So you had a good game, doesn't matter, get better. You just had a crappy game, doesn't matter, get better. You were freshman of the year in the conference, doesn't matter, get better. You were the worst player, doesn't. So it goes for anything, right? You won the conference, get better.
One of the things that happens when you're an entrepreneur is when you have a company, that becomes your identity. And that was really a big struggle, was now who am I? I was president of this company and this inventor, and now what am I? What the fuck am I? You know? And that's when he was like, well, Tom Cruise is still an actor, so are you still an entrepreneur? Yeah. All right, then go make another movie.
Tom Cruise was pretty good in Jerry Maguire, though.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Show me the money!
There's some great one-liners from that.
Probably never even seen Jerry Maguire.
I was going to just not say anything because this isn't my cup of tea and I don't know about it, but I have never even heard of the movie Jerry Maguire. I'll be completely transparent.
Dude, if you like sports at all, get on it.
He's got to see
I love
Old
sports.
School and Jerry Maguire. Those are like must-see.
Old School.
Never seen Old School either. I hadn't even heard of it before.
It's not about sports.
It's not about sports, but it's about fraternity life, and it's hilarious. It's a hilarious.
Brant, you and my husband need to watch movies together. I can't stand that shit.
The dumb humor, but Jerry Maguire is a quality flick, Pont. You got to watch that one.
Yeah,
I will write that one down. I'll keep that one in the archives as well. I have a lot of movies to watch and a lot of old school things to watch because Brant just always brings them up, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that is.
I love it.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Movies that don't seem that old to me, right? Right, Coach? Seem kind of old. I always joke about Doogie Howser, and the kids are like, "Who's Doogie Howser?"
Yeah.
Who's Doogie Howser?
Here, I'm gonna test all of you. Does anybody know what I mean or what this is in reference to when I say don't drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I know that expression. The cults, right? The cult following, they drank the Kool-Aid. Everybody drank the Kool-Aid and ended up killing them all.
Brant, you'd be amazed at how many people, when I say that, they're like, why do you say that? I'm like, really? You don't know what that comes from? They don't know.
Did you know that, Pont? What that expression?
That's an extremely commonly used expression by me, but I never knew what it came from, though.
So Jim Jones had a cult down in, I don't know, Guam, or I don't know where he was. He was somewhere in South America, and he had this cult following, and he knew that the governments were going to come in and break it up and probably put him in jail. So he spiked Kool-Aid and made all of his followers drink it.
Oh, wow.
And they all died. It was mass suicide.
Mass suicide. They all drank it, and they knew it, but they still thought that was going to be a better exit.
They'd be saved. Yeah.
Crazy.
That is absolutely crazy. The fact that they knew it as well, that's nuts. I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody could tell me to drink some spiked Kool-Aid with poison and I would drink it. I don't care who it is.
What if Mark Cuban did?
That's the cool.
I would ask him why he was asking me to do that, and then I would not do it.
I'm kidding. I'm
but
kidding.
I would love to get his insight on why, and then I wouldn't do it.
We're going to unmute, I'm not sure Ben Page. I don't know Ben Page. So we're going to hope that he doesn't yell obscenities or anything like that. Ben, can you turn on your camera, Ben? Ben might not get unmuted if he doesn't turn on a camera.
Well, you can type your question, Ben.
Type your question, Ben, because I don't know Ben. I don't
know Ben either.
I trust Ben.
You trust Ben? Okay, Kasten.
Are you sure you trust Ben? Because a couple weeks ago we trusted some people as well.
Oh, I know.
She was here when they were yelling out obscenities. So
Wait, hold on. I'm going to try to turn on my camera. You guys be nice. Ben, we are waiting for you. No
Ben,
worries.
we're excited to see you, hear your question, but we just can't risk the chance that you're a troll. So if you are genuinely interested in asking a question, I can
Okay,
unmute
well, you don't have to turn on your camera if you don't want
here,
to.
I'm going to unmute you, but I can mute you really quickly too. So Ben, if you have a question, now's your chance.
Can I just tell you, I know that he's okay because he wrote earlier, wait, Coach Miner, I have a question for Mrs. Kasten. Oh my gosh.
You got manners.
What a troll would say. That's what a troll would say. To try to get
respect. Well,
let's see.
I
Here we
don't
go,
think
Ben.
so.
Ben's
hello, can you guys hear me?
We got you, Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Miss Kasten, I had a question for you, just like on entrepreneurship. Like, I'm really interested in like business management because like I'm into like reselling sneakers and high-end clothing. And I just want to know like how could I be successful in doing that, and also like having connections that will help me like benefit me in being successful in the future.
Cool. Great question.
Good question, Ben. Well done.
So there are people out there that are doing something similar to what you're doing and are doing fantastic. And what I love about it is
Right.
you really don't have to be a certain age or have experience. And you can kind of start small, which it sounds like you're doing, and then just ramp up from there.
Exactly.
So you're in a really good position. I would say the way to, here's how I built my circle of people. I was very curious and I would ask a lot of questions of a lot of people. Just ask. Even if it's people that you don't think would know, tell them, I'm looking for somebody that might know, have connections to a manufacturing company in Taiwan. Who do you think might know that? Or just, tell people that's your biggest thing right now is you're working on that. And you would be surprised. They'll be like, well, I don't, but my neighbor's sister works in Thailand and she would know. People want to help you. They do. It's just human nature. And so just ask a lot of questions. And, if you want to, so my mentor is a gentleman by the name of Howard White, and he built Air Jordan at Nike.
Oh,
and
really?
He was Jordan's mentor during college and built Air Jordan. And he is my mentor completely on accident, but you also can't be afraid. The reason I know Mark Cuban is because I walked up to him at a Blazer game.
Okay.
I got kicked out because I wasn't supposed to be in that section, but I did it. So you got to take some risks and get to the people that you want to get to, and take them to lunch, buy them coffee. Well, it's COVID now, so you can't really do that, but you know what I mean? Don't be afraid, and don't let your age, how old are you, Ben?
I'm 18. Or not 18, I'm 17, sorry. But I turned 18 soon, so.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Don't let your age stop you. That's one of the biggest things that I see is people saying, well, I'm not old enough or whatever. You actually have an advantage that you're younger because people want to help you even more. So say whatever you got to say and ask questions and get a meeting with them.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And as far as ramping up your business, you can, I'm trying to think of maybe a good resource for you. You know what? Read Tony Hsieh's book.
Tony Hsieh's? Okay, what's it called?
It is called, God, I read it so long ago. Do you know who Tony Hsieh is?
No.
He was the founder of Zappos.
Oh, okay.
And his whole thing is about, I believe it's about customer service and about how he treats his employees. But it's a lot, there's some really good like step-by-step stuff. You know what? If you want to shoot me an email, I'll think of some more books or things that you should read to get some more tactical things, like when to ramp up or, how to leverage what you have, factoring so you can go to a bank and, get a loan against your accounts receivable and things like that. So I'm going to type it right down here in the chat.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
Nice. I just screenshotted.
Cool.
All right, cool. No, yeah, I've been doing this for a while now, and I just like, you know, I'm still young to have like a storefront, to be honest, but I really want to take it to like the next level. You know, I do have a lot of stuff. I kind of wish my camera was on so I could show you guys, but
Yeah.
We want to see the collection, man.
yeah. Wait, if I log out to settings and then turn my camera off, like access, would it log me out of the Zoom meeting?
I can let you back in as long as I don't kick you out.
Okay.
I think you can just
Be
hit
careful,
the,
Ben. Sometimes he does that.
I did do that, Kasten. I did do that.
I think if you hit the home button and just go to your settings, I think it'll stay in the Zoom meeting.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the settings then, real quick.
Ben, here's a bit of advice for you. Don't get a storefront.
Oh, okay. Why?
It's useless.
A lot of
Yeah.
overhead.
It's a lot of you're going to pay a lot of money in rent for a
Yeah.
storefront, and you're going to have so many more customers online.
Mhm.
Where do you live, Ben?
I live in San Diego.
Yeah. Well, you're only going to have customers in the San Diego area coming to you. If you stay online, your overhead is so much lower, and just don't do storefront.
No, yeah, I kind of agree with you with that because I have do you guys know Grailed? It's kind of like an eBay, but it's like mainly for fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
no.
Those.
What? Yeah, so it's Grailed, and I have a pretty good. I have 4.9 reviews on there, and I have a ton of people that like DM me. Oh, do you ship to Poland? Do you ship to Germany? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So like, there's just like you said, there's more of a clientele instead of just San Diego people.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to make sales.
And then Ben, if you ever need help, like if you get to the point where you need an outside fulfillment center, so the people that do the packaging and shipping and so forth, one of my best friends runs a fulfillment company in Arizona, and he is like me, and he'd be happy to talk to you and, you know, answer questions and stuff like that. So if you ever want to chat with him, just let me know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that I have your email now, so I can email you if I need any more advice about this stuff, especially like the books, because the books help a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're young, ask for the help when you're young.
Yeah.
College or high school, there's people that wouldn't take a meeting with me. I would take a meeting with you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You will hear, you guys. Here's a secret. If you're younger to getting information that other companies, like Ben, if you have any competition or somebody that's close to what you're doing, they might not want to give out certain information if they know who you are and what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I've crossed that path before. It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's how you get around that.
Many times.
Okay, so here's how you get around that.
Yeah.
I am a college student writing a paper on XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
Your company is the best at it. I would like to interview you. I want to feature you in the story. I want everyone to know how great you are. All you got to do is blow sunshine up their ass, and they will give you information all day long.
Nice. Never thought of that. I guess, yeah, sure.
No, for real. Like, I still have young people call for me. Like, if I need insider information, I'll like have my nieces and nephews call. Be like, hey, pretend you're doing a paper on this. See if you can get some information.
Nice.
Well, good questions, Ben. Thanks for not yelling obscenities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very much appreciated because sometimes it happens.
Sometimes
Dang, really? Yeah, it's happened in my my classes too. So, you know.
Yeah, people
like
just can't stop, man. They can't.
Like people just like soundboard it, whatever, you know.
Yell obscenities. Or in elementary school, my wife had a kid show up without a shirt on to the Zoom, just like, just forgot my shirt. Crazy.
Like you're in your room. Put it on.
Yeah.
You're in your house. You can't be that far away from a shirt.
Oh, I just forgot my shirt. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't see you there. One of those things, huh?
Well, awesome. Well, Kasten, thanks so much for joining us. That was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. We were both I was a walk-on, Ponce a walk-on. So we end it this way. We say that if you're going to walk on.
Do it.
Yeah.
Go.
Thanks, you guys. I wish everybody the best of luck. And if you need to reach me, my email is in the chat, or just go to yourstartuplife.com and you can reach me there.
Boom.
Very cool. Thank you.
Great job. We're going to cut.